Hello, Flosstube. It is time for my January recap. I'm a little late. I've been battling a cold and I'd hoped to film this video earlier this week. Today is February 6th, Thursday. I'd hoped to film this Monday, but just couldn't do it with my cold. So I'm going to try and get through this without coughing. If I have to, I'll pause in the middle, but let's get started. I have some finishes. So I'll just get right into it. This one I actually finished in February. This is the Valentine's Day Quaker by Primrose Cottage, and it's on 32 count blush by Zweigart with the called for floss, which is ripe melon. And of course it washes out when you put it up close. It's a little bit better. So that one is ready to be fully finished now. And then the big finish I had is Glendon Place Plum Pudding. And I will put a picture in of what it looked like at the beginning of the month. I forgot to say on the Valentine's Quaker, I did about 1,300 stitches to get it all finished between January and February. And then on the plum pudding, I did 747 beads. So here is the whole thing. I'll try and show you a little bit closer. So I had beads done, I think, in this corner, and I did the rest of them. So lots of beads. So it is all done. Oops, sorry. It's hard to show the whole thing. So I will probably have this one professionally framed. There's at our one of our local Hobby Lobbies, there's a gentleman there that used to own a cross stitch shop and did the framing for that, so I trust him to do my my cross stitch framing, so I'll probably take it up to him. All right, and then one more small finish. This is the monthly minis from Primrose Cottage, so I got December's done. This is on 32 count Heartland by Picture This Plus. And that's what that one looks like. And then I did get a start. I'll go ahead and show that while I'm here because I did make some progress. This is January's. And I've made a start on it. This is 32 count Helix by Picture This Plus. So that's where I am on that one. It's a little bluer than it's showing up on camera. And then I had a couple of new starts. That's all my finishes. But I had a couple of new starts. So I started the Heaven and Earth Stitch Along. I'm doing Drinks on the Beach, so I'll put a picture in of what it's going to look like. And I have done, in January, I did 7,036 stitches. Now this is a little bit farther than that. I haven't added in my February stitches. Whoa, sorry. So it was fun to start getting some colors in the straws. This is an umbrella, a yellow umbrella starting to come in now. So I think I have most of one page done. I have to finish 6 pages by the end of the year in order to get the other stitch along projects. All right, then the other new start I had, and I'll put a picture in of what it's going to look like. This is the Autumn Lane Stitchery Stitch Along, and it's called Woodland Winter. And in January I did 2,515 stitches, and I've done some more since then. This is where I am so far. So the house and these trees was part 1. This is part 2. There's a part 3 already released under here and a part 4 up here. And there's going to be one more above that. But I just love it. So I have been using this as a daily 100. So I try and put at least 100 stitches in it every day. I'm not going to catch up that way, but at least it keeps me moving forward on it. Okay, those were my new starts. Oh, this is on 32 count Twilight by Picture This Plus. And my Heaven and Earth is on a 28 count Easy Guide 1/1 full cross. And then so those were both my Whip Go calls for January. So a new start, 2 new starts. And so I started the Heaven and Earth design stitch along and the Autumn Lane Stitchery stitch along. Those were my new starts. And then for my Fancy Lady Whip Go calls, it was Maidens of the Seasons was one of them. So this is the first one. There's 2 of these. This is number 1. And I had not worked on this in years, but I put in 1,037 stitches. I'll put in a picture of what it looked like when I started, and this is where it is now. So I've got more of her dress done, and then I started up on her hair. And I think this is on the called for Tumbleweed Linen by Witchelt. So that was Whip Go call for one of the Whip Go calls for my Fancy Ladies. And then the other one was Christmas in London. So, whoops. This is what this one will look like. It's beautiful. Of course, I really love Mirabilias. And I did 589 stitches on this one. I'll put a picture in of what it looked like when I started. And this is where it is now. Oh, I hate this. It's like, for some reason, my ring light decides to turn off. It's like my laptop just quits or something. So I only had, when I started, you'll see the picture, but like the stocking and a little bit of this ribbon. So I did this. And this is on I think it's a 32 count white opalescent. Okay, let's see if we can keep the laptop going so that it will not turn off my ring light again. All right, and that was everything that I worked on. So that was my second Whip Go call for the Fancy Ladies. So let me then talk about, make sure I haven't missed anything. So in January, I did 11,340 stitches total. I have my notes down here, so that's why I'm looking down there. All right, plans. So I will continue with the Autumn Lane Stitchery for my daily 100. And then for Whip Go, the full coverage call was Hot Air Balloon Sunrise. This is, artwork is by Lars Stewart. It's charted by Heaven and Earth Designs. This is my starting point for it. Again, this is on 28 count, 1/1 full cross. And then the other call on my full coverage board was to fully finish something. So maybe I'll fully finish that Valentine's Day Quaker that I finished. I still have a few more days before, and I could still put it up for this Valentine's. Okay, and then for the Fancy Ladies, my Whip Go calls were Journey into the Deep. This is an Passion Ricomo, I think. It's Stitch Along from 2013, and I'll put a picture in of what it's going to look like when it's finished. And I do not know what this fabric is, but this is where I am on this one. It's a very soft fabric. It's beautiful. It's big. Bring it a little bit closer. And you can see there's some Kreinik. You can see how that's shimmering. So that's one of the Whip Go calls. Actually, I'm not sure if it's Kreinik or Petite Treasure Braid. I don't remember. And then the other call on the Fancy Lady was Siren and the Shipwreck, a Mirabilia. And it, let me find it in here. Here it is. It's going to look like this. It has lots of bling, as a lot of Mirabilias do. And this is my starting point for it. And I think this is on the called for. So all those holes in there are probably beads. It looks like they're called for, which is 32 count Sea Lily linen by Witchell. So that is the other call for my Fancy Lady. And then I went ahead and spun. I had talked about, I've got some projects pulled, and if you saw my Whip Parade, you saw what I have listed as ones that I want to try and finish this year. And so I was going to spin, and then I decided that no, there were some I wanted to work on at a certain time of year. So like I finished, the plum pudding was a spin, and I finished that in January. And then for February, I thought, well, I'll try and finish the Valentine's Day Quaker. Well, I've already finished it. So I went ahead and spun, and it spun acorns. So if I have extra time, and this is what this looks like when it's finished. So if I have extra time, then I can work on this and see if I can get it finished. And it's close. This is on 32 count Bramble by Picture This Plus. So this is where I am. And so I only have this corner left to do. So the N and the S, and I'm trying to remember if there was another leaf over there. No, just a little acorn and a squirrel. This is hard to do. So there's a squirrel in the S and a little acorn to the side of it, and then the rest of this border. So if I have extra time, then I'll work on that and see if I can get that finished. It's more of a fall stitch, but it's what the wheel spun, so we'll see. We'll see if I have time for that. I am trying to get, on average, 300 stitches a day on my Heaven and Earth Stitch Along. So I'll work on it for like 2 or 3 days and kind of build up some stitches, and I'll take a break and work on something else so I don't get too tired of it. Excuse me, let me get a drink real quick. I can feel my throat getting dry. All right, last thing to show you is haul. I have a few things that I purchased and then some gifts that I got. So I finally got, my LNS finally got the first 2 of these in from Country Cottage Needlework. And I did go ahead and get the fabric for them. I really would like to start those, but I don't know when. And then this from Primrose Cottage, Home Sweet Home. And then from Pansy Patch Quilts, the Winter Quilt Barn. Isn't that pretty? You know what it's stitched on? Tin Roof by Weeks Dye Works. That's really pretty. And then for Christmas, I had picked out some stuff. My mom, before she passed, had asked me to buy some stuff when I was in Tulsa at the retreat. for Christmas gifts for me. And so my dad wrapped them all up for me. So I finally got to go see him a couple weekends ago. Between weather and illness, we had been trying to get together for, gosh, almost a month. But this is what I got for Christmas from my mom and dad. So this is Rosewood Manor Treats on a Pumpkin. And the picture doesn't do it justice. When I was at Silver Needle for a Rosewood Manor class, and I saw this in person, and it is just precious. It was stitched on 32 count Haunted by Picture This Plus, and it was really fun. This one is When I Think of Chocolate by Puntini Puntini. And it comes with pins. Isn't that fun? Autumn Lane Stitchery Current Mood. I have seen this one several times, and I just think it's so fun. Autumn Midnight Garden by Tiny Modernist. This one I just kept picking up, and I finally decided to grab it. Let's see if it says... It was stitched on a 28 count charcoal dyed effect by Fabric Flair. But I'm sure I can find something like that. This is by Robin Pickens, Pine Crossing. And this around it is actually fabric. Yeah, winterly fabric. So I'll have to see if I can find that. This is Dreaming of Poppies by Rosewood Manor. I have a bunch of her Dreaming of flowers. They're so pretty. Such vibrant colors in that one. And then Fall Frolic Sampler by Robin Pickens. So that was all my Christmas gifts from my mom and dad. And then my sister passed this one on to me. This is Dirty Annie's. She had stitched it, and I thought it was so cute. And it's Pumpkin Patch. Look at those kitty cats. It is just adorable. There's a lot of stitching on it. So she passed that one on to me. So that was another gift. All right, I think that's it. I made it through with very little coffee, and I'm very surprised. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope to be back right around the 1st of March for my February recap. So hopefully I won't be sick or have anything else going on that will keep me from being back in about a month. All right. Thank you for joining me. Bye.